Hi, my name's Rebecca, and I am not a professional nail salon technician or anything like that. I've had no training. I purchased the POLYGEL system online. I actually chose to go through Amazon because I got more product for a better price. But I also found that in doing my research, it was very hard to find out how to do the nails. So what I want to do is do a little instructional video for you and go over some information to make this easier for those of you that are first timers, are skeptical, or wondering if you can do it. First off, I've already done a set. I learned from doing that set. One thing that I really learned that is most important is you definitely want to do a very thin layer when you do your nails. The thick nails actually gunk up and they get at the bottom of your nail right here and they become very, very thick and uncomfortable. So you want to make sure that you're doing a very thin layer when you do your nails. With my kit, I got the UV light. And yes, you do need the UV light. That is one of the questions I see all the time on these forums and on Facebook. Yes, you need the light. If you do not have the light, it becomes very sticky and tacky, and it does not adhere and dry like it should. So it's always tacky, and it was picking up all the felt, fur, hair, and everything else. I have dogs, so I look like I had a dog growing on one of my fingernails. So yes, you want the light. The next thing is when you see some of the videos, you see them doing just the gel portion with the brush, the spatula and the brush. They do not show you that you need slip liquid. You do need what they call slip liquid. That liquid makes the gel actually smooth and thin and spread better on your tips. Or if you're doing a fill-in, it actually makes it spread easily, and that way it's not so tacky and sticky. Without it, it does not spread very well, and it doesn't glide like it should, and you can't get it as thin as you need it to get. Next thing they don't tell you is you need a base coat. So what you want to do is make sure you have a base coat when you start this. You also are going to need a top coat when you do your nails. The original kit that I saw online only came with the gel, the brush, and the tips, and that was not enough for me to do my nails. So I'm glad I did a lot of research and found out that I needed to get the better kit. You want to have what they call the nail cleaner, because you want to clean your nails after you file them. And you also want the nail polish remover or the lacquer remover, whichever you want to call it. It comes with my kit. It came with my kit. I spent about $30 on my kit, and it came with the light, 4 different color choices for the gel, the top coat, the base coat, the liquid, the spatula brush combo. It also came with the little glass for my liquid, and it also came with nail files, the duster brush, cuticle oil. Yes, you want cuticle oil, because after you have done the filing, you are going to want something on them cuticles to make them a little bit softer and make them feel better. It also came with all the little tips that you need. And now the first step you want to do, and I'll break in a minute and I'll have to splice the video together. I'm not good at that, so please bear with that when you're watching this review and on how to do this. The first thing I'm going to do is buff my nails and get them nice and kind of, I guess, brittle, I guess. I don't know what the word is to use for that. Like I said, I'm not a professional. When you file them, it gives them a rough feel to them, and that's what you want for the base coat to stick to. So I'm going to take care of that, and I'm going to use my buffer, and I'm just going to kind of buff them up a little bit like this. So I'm going to pause while I take care of that on all of my nails, because obviously you guys don't want to watch me do all my fingers, because you just want the basics for what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it now, and I'm going to take care of this part, and then I will start back over and reconnect. Thank you. Okay, so I have filed and buffed the nails now, and they have the roughness to them. The next thing you're going to want to do is take your cleaner, because you want to clean the nails. And for this part, you can go ahead and do all 10 fingers, or 8 fingers and 2 thumbs, whichever way you guys want to say that. And you clean them off. And then once you've done that, you're going to want to take the nail polish remover the lacquer remover, and you're going to want to clean with that too to make sure that you've gotten everything off, just in case you had redone nails or anything like that. And again, you can do all of them at one time for this part. Another question that I've seen a lot of people ask on the websites and on Facebook is, can you do it without the tips? Yes, you can do just a layer of the gel over your nails. You do not have to use the tips to do it. You can just do layers. Now, the other trick that I have learned with this is you want your tip piece that you're using to be a little bit over the edges for when you push down, because when you file it, you want it to be even with your nails, and if you go to a perfect match, it actually makes them too thin, and then you see your nail underneath and it will cause it to lift. Now, at the same time, when you do it though, when you're doing your filing, you want to make sure you don't have anything on your skin, because if it's on the skin, again, it can lift. As long as you have it properly filed and properly fitted, you will not have lifting problems. I am a nail biter, and I was able to wear my set for a week, and like I said, it was my first set, and it was not the best set in the world, but it did last, and I actually had to soak them to remove them, which says a lot, because I can usually chew off a set of acrylics very quickly. I could not chew these off. I literally had to soak them off. So it is a very good product. So now the next step is to match up your sizing with the tips. And then when you come back, you want to do one finger at a time when you get ready to do that. Once you size them though, you're going to take and you're going to do your base coat. And you can do all your fingers at one time for that. You can do the base coat, and then you want to put it underneath the light, and you want to do it for about 2 minutes to 3 minutes, because you want to make sure it's really taken care of and really cured. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fit my tips to my fingers so that I know which ones I need to use, and then I will do my base coat. And it's just like painting your nails. You're just going to take and put a quick little coat over on your nails, and then you're going to dry them, like I said, for, you know, the 2 to 3 minute mark. I've got, 120 seconds on mine. So that's the one that I'm going to do. I'll do 120 seconds. Also, you can use this product on your toes. I have done that as well. You just do a nice thin layer when you do it. You will use the spatula part, and you'll dab a little bit on your spatula, and you'll just place it on your toe, and then you'll use the liquid in the brush, and you kind of smash it is what I call it. You kind of smooth it down and then bring it out, kind of swiping like this with it, and bring it out to a nice thin area, and then you put more liquid on the brush and you clean it around the outsides of your toes, and that way you don't have any overages. And that's the same thing you would do with your fingers. So you would take the product and you just kind of do like that with it, and then you would just kind of do this little motion with it and kind of fill it all the way in, and then do nice little strokes. If it gets tacky or sticky, you want to add more liquid, and then that will bring it up. Once you've done that, then you want to put it underneath the dryer. So I'm gonna hop off here real quick, and I'm gonna fit my fingers, like I said, to the tips, and then I'll come back and I'll go over the base coat part. Okay, so I've now matched up all my tips and figured out which sizes I needed to go, where I need them to go. And another thing that has been asked is, do you need new tips every time, or applicators? No, you do not. You can use the same set over and over. What you want to do though is you want to use the gel remover, the nail cleaning one that says gel polish remover. You want to clean them with that, and then you want to use the alcohol pad on top of that and clean them with that after each use, but they can be used over and over again. So no, you do not need to do those multiple times. You don't need to buy a bunch of them. You just need enough for your set, and then obviously if they wear out or they start getting brittle, then you'd want to replace them. But my kit came with a massive amount. I mean, I've got tons here, so I should be good for a while on that. So now the next thing we're going to do is the base coat, and like I said, you're going to take and just like you would polish your nails, and you're just going to put a thin little layer on, and like I said, you can do all of them at one time, and I'm going to do one hand at a time. So this will be completely dry before I go to the next hand. But I'm going to put it underneath the dryer. Like I said, it's for 120 seconds. And that's a long time to sit here and wait. So again, I'm going to hit pause, and I will splice everything back together. Okay, so now I have done the base coat on all my nails. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the liquid and we're going to put it in our glass. You want a decent amount. You don't want to squirt a whole bunch, but you want a decent amount because you can always add, but it's hard to get it back inside the little bee hole. Yeah, I tried that the first time. It didn't go so well. Then you're going to choose whichever gel you've got. Like I said, on the POLYGEL nails, this is a product that I found online. It's the same thing. And you're going to open up your tube, and then you're going to use the spatula, and you're going to squirt, depending on which nail you're going to do first, a decent amount, like I said. And I'm going to start with my thumb. So I'm going to take it, and you're going to put it just like this, kind of scrape it on there, clean off both sides, dip your brush, make sure you get it nice and wet, and then you're going to take it and you're just going to kind of smush it down like this. And like I said, you want a thin layer, not too thick, and just kind of spreads it out like that. And see, it's starting to get a little sticky, so I'm going to dip my brush, get a little more liquid, and finish doing around it. And then I'm going to kind of clean the edge a little bit. And they also do not tell you that when you clean the edge, clean your brush. So now that you've done that, you're going to take the nail tip and you're going to press it onto your nail. And you want to press it gently down, but you want it to be secure. And you want to look and see if you have any overages. If you do, take your brush and just kind of clean up around the nail. Make sure that it stays down and secure, and then you're going to put it into the light. And again, you want it to be underneath there for, like I said, about 120 seconds. And I'm going to turn it off while we wait for that. Okay, so now that you've put it in the light and it's dried, you're just going to take and kind of wiggle the tip a little bit, and it's going to pop off for you. And as you can see, I now have my nail. And then I will cut it and file it to the length that I am wanting. Now I am using a clear gel, so you can kind of see through it a little bit. The pink one was much smoother looking, but I'm going to paint mine, so I'm not worried about the clear on that part. So I'm going to paint mine when I'm done this time. But as you can see, this is now done and it's ready to be cleaned so that I can do my other hand, because for me, mine work on both hands. So what I'm going to do is just continue the stages. As far as the length goes, it has a little grid on it, and so you just kind of base it on how long you want your nails to be. Go a little bit longer than what you want them to be, and make sure you're even at the end, otherwise you end up with crooked nails. So you want to make sure that you are going all the way to the end and that it's even at the end for your lengthwise. And then when you cut them and file them, they'll be exactly what you want. So again, you want to go a little bit longer than what you're expecting, because you can always cut down, but it's harder to add. So I'm going to now do the process for the other hand, and I'll come back on once I've done that. Again, you're going to just take and apply the gel with the spatula to the nail. And if it's not far enough down for you, then just add a little more gel to the spatula, add it, and then again smooth it with the liquid. And I will be back in a little bit and I'll have the hunt done. And you want to do one nail at a time when you're at this part, because it's very difficult to keep them adhered to the fingers and coming in and out of the dryer. So it's much easier to do one nail at a time for this part. Alright, I will be back. Okay, so I'm back and they are now all on. They are not trimmed, cut, or anything. This is just after popping off the little adhesive layer things. So now the next process is going to be trimming them down to the size and length that I want. And you just simply take your nail clippers and just kind of cut them down to where you want them. And they're pretty strong, might I add. So I'm actually really having to put a little force into getting it to cut. So, and I'll do that on the other hand as well. And then the next process is going to be just taking your file, and you're just going to file and smooth and shape the nail as you like your nails. I prefer a very thin nail file. I don't do very well with the thick ones for like my shaping part of it. So I'm probably going to switch over and use just a cheap little file, but to me I'm able to manage it better, and able to get more pressure in there and not rub the sides of my fingers quite as much. So the next process that I'm going to be doing is filing and shaping, like I said. And once I'm done with that, I will come back on and show you guys what they look like. You want to make sure that's nice and smooth as well. Use the rougher file part for that at first to get any of the chunks or anything that might be thick off. And then once you've filed the nail down to where you want it to be, then you're going to use your buffer one, and you're just going to come across your nail and kind of do like this, and that's going to smooth out any brush strokes or any lumps or anything that you may have in the nail itself. I still got some more shaping to do on my thumb. I'm not close to being really ready for this full part, but this is just kind of what you're going to do with it. Kind of file it down like this. Once I get all the nails done, I will, and I forgot, I haven't cleaned up the toes yet, but there is the layer on the toes as well. Again, I need to clean up the polish around them. I haven't got to that yet, but wanted to show you that I do have an overlay of the polygel on the toes as well. Okay, so I am done. Nails are drying, and then I need to clean up around the finger, around the nails, and get some of the nail polish off. But here is the set. They are done. And like I said, I'm not a professional, so you know, they're not all even or anything like that, but I've completed the set, and they are looking pretty good. I mean, you know, for somebody who's not a professional, but they are complete. I just, like I said, need to clean up around the nail where I got some nail polish over everything. But that is our polygel nails, and that is all the steps and everything you need to complete a set. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at emtsavealife@yahoo.com, and that's emtsavealife@yahoo.com. Don't forget to like the button below, and if you like this, subscribe, and you can post comments or questions also below, and I'll be more than happy to help and answer any questions that you may have. And I hope that you have found this very helpful, beneficial, and hope it helps your experience, because I am actually in love with polygel nails. Thank you, and have a great day.